Welcome to Fascinating Frontiers, episode 105, coming to you on June 18th, 2026. Some fascinating developments to cover today. An upgraded Ariane 6 just lofted Europe's heaviest payload ever, 36 Amazon satellites riding on boosters carrying 14 extra tons of propellant each. The VA-269 flight lifted 36 Amazon Project Kuiper satellites on the most powerful Ariane 6 configuration yet. Upgraded boosters each carried 14 tons more propellant than earlier versions. The launch marked Europe's heaviest single payload success to date. Engineers will review telemetry to confirm performance margins before the next flight. Watch for the next Ariane 6 mission later this year to see whether the new booster design becomes standard. While Europe pushes payload limits, commercial cargo flights to the ISS continue their steady rhythm. The CRS-34 capsule splashed down after undocking from the International Space Station. 4 main parachutes deployed during re-entry, and the trunk was jettisoned before landing. The mission delivered supplies and returned science samples. This flight continues the steady cadence of commercial resupply flights. Next up is preparation for the following Dragon mission later this summer. From routine station logistics, we move to a striking view of 2 galaxy clusters caught in the act of merging. The image shows CL0016 plus 1609, also known as MAX J0018.5 plus 1626, one of the brightest X-ray clusters known. X-ray data revealed the system is 2 clusters aligned along our line of sight, and in the process of merging, the observations add to extensive radio and X-ray studies of the object. Hubble's visible light view highlights the distorted galaxies within the colliding system. Follow-up papers will examine how the merger affects galaxy evolution. While clusters reshape galaxies on cosmic scales, researchers are refining which nearby worlds might still be habitable. Researchers refined criteria for identifying potentially habitable worlds around other stars. The updated framework incorporates atmospheric retention and stellar activity levels. It reduces the list of high-priority targets for future telescopes. The work helps observers allocate limited observation time more effectively. Scientists will test the model against new James Webb data releases. Canada is also sharpening its focus on future lunar science through a major ESA commitment. Canada committed record funding to the European Space Agency, securing 2 lunar exploration opportunities. The investment supports Canadian instruments and technologies on upcoming European landers. It strengthens collaboration on surface science and resource prospecting. Program managers will now finalize instrument selections and timelines. Watch for the first hardware integration milestones in the coming year. From lunar planning, we shift to an experiment that literally sends grape seeds into orbit. Hundreds of wine grape seeds from Texas A&M AgriLife will spend roughly 6 months aboard the ISS. Cosmic radiation exposure will be studied after the seeds return for planting. Researchers aim to produce the first wine from space-exposed grape seeds. The experiment tests how radiation alters seed genetics and growth. Results are expected after the samples complete post-flight analysis. While seeds ride to orbit, Blue Origin is rebuilding the pad that will soon launch its own heavy-lift rocket. Work has begun on the launch pad damaged in a New Glenn explosion less than 3 weeks ago. The company targets a return to flight by the end of the year. Engineers are assessing structural repairs and safety systems. The effort keeps the heavy-lift rocket on schedule for future national security and commercial missions. Next milestone is completion of pad certification tests. From launch pad recovery, we turn to a new orbital refueling capability for the Space Force. The Pentagon awarded Quantum Space a contract to develop a fuel transfer spacecraft for the U.S. Space Force. The vehicle is slated for delivery by 2028. The project will demonstrate propellant transfer between satellites in orbit. Success would extend satellite lifetimes and reduce launch mass requirements. Early design reviews are scheduled for later this year. Refueling satellites in orbit could complement faster lunar lander development now being studied by ESA. The agency is studying ways to shorten development timelines for future moon landers. Faster cadence would support more frequent science and technology demonstrations. Planners are examining reusable elements and streamlined qualification processes. The goal is to reduce the gap between missions while maintaining reliability. Concept studies will feed into the next ESA ministerial meeting. While timelines for lunar missions tighten, astronomers are confronting a hot Jupiter whose atmosphere defies standard models. Picture a gas giant orbiting so close to its star that its dayside temperature exceeds 2,000 degrees Celsius. Radiation from the star slams into the upper atmosphere, breaking apart molecules and driving a powerful day-to-night wind that can reach thousands of kilometers per hour. On the night side, the temperature drops sharply, allowing some of those vaporized materials to condense into clouds that the winds then carry back into daylight, where they evaporate again in a continuous cycle. The whole process repeats on timescales of hours, not years, creating a global heat engine that astronomers can watch in real time with infrared telescopes. Yet no current model fully explains why some of these worlds appear to be losing atmosphere at rates far higher than expected, while others hold on to theirs despite similar conditions. What hidden variable decides whether a hot Jupiter keeps or sheds its outer layers? From atmospheric puzzles, we return to our own solar system, where Perseverance has now driven a marathon's distance on Mars. NASA's Perseverance has now driven more than 26.2 miles across Jezero Crater. The distance matches a terrestrial marathon and sets a new record for the rover. Scientists are using the extended traverse to sample diverse rock units. The data will help reconstruct the crater's ancient lake history. The team will continue mapping the route toward the next sampling area. From surface traverses on Mars, we look at an orbital rescue mission for an aging observatory. Northrop Grumman's Pegasus will launch the spacecraft that will raise the Swift Observatory's altitude. The boost will extend the mission's operational life by countering atmospheric drag. The mission combines NASA, Catalyst Space, and Northrop Grumman expertise. Launch is planned once the servicing vehicle completes final testing. Success would demonstrate a new approach to extending aging observatories. Extending observatory life pairs naturally with new public-private work on Mars technologies. NASA announced a public-private partnership with Relativity Space to advance Mars exploration. The collaboration will explore new technologies for future science missions. It builds on earlier work between the company and agency scientists. The partnership aims to lower costs while increasing payload capacity. Details on specific mission concepts will emerge in coming months. From Mars technology partnerships, we zoom out to the engineering challenge of stabilizing future space telescope mirrors. Precise control of telescope mirrors is emerging as a critical requirement for detecting small exoplanets. Vibrations and thermal changes can blur the tiny signals needed for atmospheric characterization. Engineers are developing new stabilization techniques for the next generation of space telescopes. The improvements will directly affect the search for Earth-like worlds. Prototype tests are already underway in laboratory settings. From high-precision optics, we close with a simple naked eye sight visible tonight. After sunset, the moon will appear close to the Sickle asterism in LEO. Observers can watch the pair low in the western sky before they set. The geometry offers a good chance to spot Earthshine on the lunar surface. Binoculars will reveal the stars of the Sickle alongside the moon. Clear western horizons will give the best views. Keep an eye on the next Dragon cargo mission as it prepares for launch later this summer. That covers today's space and science news. Share this with a fellow space enthusiast if you found it interesting. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. See you tomorrow. And if you'd rather watch than listen, find us on YouTube at NERA Network. Links in the show notes. And before you go, this show is part of the NERA Network, a family of daily podcasts covering tech, science, markets, and more. If you enjoyed today's episode, give Models and Agents for Beginners a listen. Artificial intelligence explained simply for beginners and curious teens. You can explore the whole lineup at neuranetwork.com. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.
drifting softly